Broadcasting live from the Cottage Studio. You can check out my website, thehohoshow.com. I'm all over the place on social media and a proud member of Weaponized Sloth Productions. So welcome to the Ho Ho Show, and as always, I am your host, Ho Ho. Oh yes, I am. All right, well guys, I know I didn't get going. Oh, well, no wonder why. It's not connecting with Facebook for some reason. Let me kind of figure out why that is. Well, let's see here. Give me just a second. Let me figure out why Facebook isn't wanting to work at the moment. I'm not sure as to why. And it says it's sending data, but it doesn't say what's going on with it. I don't know. Maybe I forgot to do something. That's weird. All right, guys. Well, maybe we won't have Facebook today. Isn't that spiffy? Here we go. Videos. I found it. Here we go. Video library. Going live. Use a persistent email. Did that thing break or something? All right, I apologize about this. Yeah, it's not wanting to connect to Facebook for some reason. Don't know what that reason is, but it's not wanting to connect. So, oh well. We just won't have Facebook, apparently. Let's turn it off and turn it back on. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, guys, I've messed around enough with that. Let's move on. Leave the site. Yes, leave the site. All right, so welcome, everybody. Welcome, Spreaker. Welcome, Twitch, YouTube, Mixer, and Periscope. Facebook is apparently offline right now then, but that happens from time to time. Technology always doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. You go ahead and bring up the other chat windows. Yeah, it's really not wanting to work. Oh, well. I'm just bringing up the other chat windows. This way I can connect with the other chat groups in there. So, all right. Well, today I'm going to start off the show by talking about, since tomorrow's Labor Day. Should I do that tomorrow or do that today? I'll do that tomorrow. Nah, I'll do it today. I might not do a show tomorrow. I don't know yet. But, so, with tomorrow being Labor Day, I thought it was, one of them things I'm starting to do more often is to kind of look at where these things come from. Where these, holidays come from, where they actually originate, what they mean, different things like that. And I was actually kind of surprised to find out that I was right in what I suspected. The Labor Day was actually derived from, I'm not exactly sure what year it was, 1884. Oh, wow. No, 1880. Yeah, 1884 is when it came from, but it was, let's see, let me just go ahead and read the what it means part of it. So Labor Day, the first Monday in September, is a creation of the labor movement and is dedicated to the social and economic achievements of American workers. So I kind of figured that it had to be something to do with, labor unions, more or less. And, well, basically, yeah, that's more or less what it amounts to. It's a, labor union day of, to celebrate them and what they've done for the American worker and the American industry. And of which case, I'm one of them kind of people that I acknowledge that, when labor unions were first made, when they first came into being, first came into power, if you want to say, they were relevant. They there was a purpose for what they were doing. They had a reason for being there, you know. And, you know, because there was a lot of things that, you know, mistreatment, you know, child labor, you know, overworking people, just really, really poor work conditions. I mean, it was bad. You know, I mean, it was very bad. And, you know, maybe the labor unions had a lot to do with this to clean it up with the labor, you know, Department of Labor and with work, you know, hours of work and safety conditions and making those laws and things of that nature. And I'm sure that they did. I have no doubt that they did. But nowadays, it's kind of one of them things that, well, hello, Dread Relic. How are you doing today, sir? It's good to see you. But, you know, today, in today's day and age, with how the labor laws are already written and how, you know, with the safety, you know, PPE, you know, personal protection gear, equipment. Yeah, that's what the E stands for. You know, there's not a whole heck of a lot of a purpose or a reason for labor unions to be around anymore. I mean, there's just not. You know, I used to work in St. Louis, and you know, I worked for a company that made landing gears for semis. I was in the gearbox hole, and I was working for them guys, and I had no problem with the job, no problem with the management, no problem with anything. You know, something ended up getting screwed up with paperwork, and you know, the wrong. You know, not my fault. You know, I was still, you know, very new at the job, and I still had a trainer at the time. So, I mean, it wasn't completely my fault, but the wrong part was grabbed for what we were building, you know. And it was one of the things that because they were bad, you know, they went ahead and they extended my probationary period another month. You know, no big deal. I didn't care. You know, it's like, okay, whatever. That's, you know, a punishment for me for, you know, not paying enough attention to what was brought to me to make sure it was accurate. I get that. I'm fine with that, you know. But the problem came whenever I looked at my paycheck. My paycheck, I had union dues coming out of it. So I went and I talked to, you know, the union rep. I go, hey, there's a problem here. It's like I'm getting union dues taken out of my paycheck. And they were like, yeah. I'm like, well, why? Because my probationary period was extended, so I'm not into the union yet, right? He's like, no, you're not in the union. I'm like, oh, okay. So why are you taking union dues out of my check? Well, because you've passed the whatever many days. You know, you're past the 90-day probationary period. I'm like, yeah, but my probationary period is, you know, no longer 90 days. It's been extended a month. So, you know, you shouldn't be taking union dues out of my check. It's like, well, we went ahead and did that. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm being represented by the union. No, you're not getting represented at all. I go, oh, okay. So basically what you're telling me is I'm paying for a service that I am not receiving. Oh, well, we'll give you that money back if you happen to get terminated. I go, who gives a shit if I'm terminated? You know, you guys are charging me money for a service I'm not getting. That's illegal. That's wrong. Tough. Oh, okay. You know, what? How is that even legal? You know, I mean, they have gone to a point to where they protect people that really shouldn't be there, people that don't want to be there, and they'll get rid of people who are good at their job, want their job, need their job. You know, it's like, come on, man. You know, I mean, sometimes people wonder what happened to, you know, Chevy. It's like, well, they have a guy that they pay buku bucks to, you know, do, you know, an hour and a half worth of work, and they'll pay him for 8 hours to do that job, but they will not make him do anything else. It's like, what in the world are you doing? No wonder why you guys are going under. You know, I believe in right to work states. I believe in things like that because if the union, see, here's my thing about it. If the unions actually offer something worth having, then they should be accepting and want a right to work state. But instead, they try to do everything they can to not get that because they know that if a right to work state happens, then the people are going to be leaving the union because they really don't have anything to offer them. Not anymore. In the day, yes. But nowadays, no. And especially if you're a conservative, especially if you're a libertarian, especially if you're a Republican, because all of their money, all the dues that you pay just goes to line their pockets, and then it gets donated to a Democratic campaign. It's like, really? I'm paying for that? I don't want to pay for that. That's not where I want my money to go. It's like, well, that's how they do it, you know. Okay, you know, but that's what happens. So that's what Labor Day is. Now you have it. Moving on, I'm just going to do a quick check on Facebook. And, of course, it still is not working. Let's just do that. Let's do that. I don't even know what's going on with it right now, to be honest with you. I'm not restarting the computer because of that, weirdo. So, anyway, moving on. Next story. Now, this one, of course, you know, you always know what I'm about. You know, defending the Second Amendment, defending the Constitution. So this next article comes from, see, this actually came out August 30th, and it comes from the New York Post. The headline is, America doesn't actually lead the world in mass shootings. You know, and that's one of them things that the previous administration kept trying to say, and that was the party line he kept toting because of what he wanted to do. He wanted to, you know, hinder a person's ability to own guns, to, you know, be able to have access to ammunition, be able to have access to certain types of guns because they look scary, you know, and this was one of the lines that he used in order to try to justify that. And he had a guy do a study. Now, I can't tell you what the study said. I can't tell you the parameters of the poll that was done and how he came about with his numbers and how he got those and the facts that were presented. I really can't give you that information. I can't give you that information because the person who did the study never released that information. But one of the things that he did say about it is that he used a lot of the same type of parameters and ways of getting data that I believe it was the New York Police Department used. And the New York Police Department was very open whenever they said that they only got it from English print, English-speaking countries, and that was the only place that they were really pulling any data from. So obviously they are at least man enough to say our numbers are skewed, our numbers are false, they're not 100% true because it takes away from any foreign-speaking country. We're not getting data from them. So it's obviously a skewed a skewed number, a skewed digit, a skewed, you know, parameter, obviously. And he's saying that I be blocking. Huh? Duck dodge. I'm actually on Restream at the moment. I'm not looking through Mixer, to be honest with you. Let me know. But yeah, so I mean, it's faulty information, and at least the New York, you know, Police Department was honest in that. They released that information that, you know, but this guy, he's not releasing any of that information, and so it's a skewed number. You know, I've got no problem with polls, with, you know, data like that, but, you know, be honest in how you pull the information and be, you know, be truthful about it. You know, pull it from everywhere. You know, I mean, otherwise you're getting faulty information, you know, and why are you going to have, you know, use faulty information to do policies and write laws? That's not right. You know, there's something wrong with that. You know, moving on, I got a couple more stories I'm going to touch base on here a little bit. No, not that one, not that one, not that one. This one, I already think I had that one up, actually. Yeah, I did. Cool. Now I got it up twice. This article actually came from Vox. Why people are angry over a Washington Post fact check about police shootings. Now, this one, I'm not really... I didn't kind of click on this because of the police shootings. I mean, granted, there's some things in there that I'm really not going to talk about. I don't... You know, that's not really what he was talking about. He was talking about, you know, the NFL players, you know, taking a knee during the national anthem. That's what, you know, this officer was talking about. You know, my problem with that is simple, you know, and it goes along the lines of bias. Oh, good morning, Mr. Salomon. How are you doing? Welcome, sir. Welcome. But one of the things that bothers me hugely about that is, okay, after 9/11, there was a football team. I don't remember the team, but they had, they got stickers. They put them on their helmet, and it was in honor of, the New York Fire Department, and it was in honor of them, for their hard work, for their service, for their dedication, for their selflessness in helping with that crisis. And the NFL said, no, you can't do that. This is a political statement. We are, as part of your contract, you don't have the right to do that. Simply put, the NFL says to their players, and this is per contract, that you can't do political, you can't do religious, you can't do that kind of stuff. Whenever you are in the game, pre-game, post-game, your butt belongs to us. If we don't want you to say it, you can't say it. You can't say, political, anything like that. You can't do it. Okay, that's fine. And I'm okay with that. If that's their contract and if they agree because of the paycheck to abide with those rules, then they should be forced to abide by those rules. But that goes both ways, and that's my problem with this, is because you have a clear and blatant, bias when it comes to how these rules are implemented. And, in the exact same way with how, the terms and service agreement is with YouTube, with, everybody else out there, There's a clear bias, and that's the part of it that ticks me off. That's not right. That's not fair. That's not the way you're supposed to be doing business, is by bias. You're showing one side favor, but you're not showing the other side the same courtesy. That's not how you do business. I know people that do business, and they do business right. They don't care about left, right, gender, sexual orientation. They don't care about any of that. Why? Because it's not how you run business. It's not how you operate a successful business. That's not what it's about. People, childish people, do that, not businesses. And that's one of them things too. I really don't care what the NFL does. I'm not a huge football fan, and so it doesn't really mean a lot to me. But the thing is, people are responding in kind. They're being alienated by NFL, and they're not going to the games as often. They're not watching the games. They've taken a big hit financially because of the financial position they took. They'll either change their ways, they'll shut their mouth, or you're going to see a big, restructuring of how NFL is run on the pay scales that these guys have. Oh, you got the same smoke mod? Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, it's the Prince. Actually, I dig it. I like it. I've gone through quite a few different glasses here recently because, gravity keeps attacking me. And, yeah, I have issues with gravity. It's a bad thing. So, but, yeah, Captain? Yeah. So, awesome. Yeah, I've been vaping for like 3 years, maybe 4. I don't remember. So, moving on, the next article that I've got here that I'm wanting to touch base on before I go to break. Oh, wait, no, I just did that one. I did? Yes, I did. Get rid of it. All right, the next one is, oh, yeah. Yeah, this one kind of angered me a little bit, and this one I did. And if you are somebody whom is, Second Amendment, if you are, if you support the Constitution, if you support, conservatives and libertarianism, if you support that, this next article should make you just a little bit mad. It made me mad, okay? This headline actually came from the Washington Times, and it reads, MSNBC, voters selfishly expect Second Amendment rights to stay the same. I don't see how that's a selfish standpoint, frame of mind, expectation that the Constitution in its entirety be honored, upheld, respected, and defended by those whom we elect as our representatives in Washington. I don't think that's a too big of an expectation to have. I mean, after all, they do take an oath of office claiming to support and defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And they claim that they take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. That's what they claim. That's what their oath is. And we've had people go into office and take that oath right there on the Bible, wrong hand, right there on the Bible, and then what's the first thing they do in office? Try to circumvent the Constitution. Personally, these people need to be impeached. Oh, yeah, I love bacon too. Hello, Bacon Boomstick. How are you doing today, sir? So, yeah, that's my problem with this, Yeah, that's my problem with this, I mean, absolutely. How these people should be impeached. If you're going to go in there, and if you're going to go in there with the intent of circumventing the Constitution, trying to rewrite it to fit the America that you want it to be, then you should be impeached. You obviously should be going to a different country. We're talking about guns, and actually, I'm just about ready to take a break. Oh, lags. Oh, that's bad. That's bad. Yeah, I'm having problems with Facebook today for some reason. I'm not really sure as to why. But, yeah, I'm having problems with Facebook. It's not wanting to connect. Everything else seems like it's connecting okay, but just not that. So, man, I do apologize about the lag over there on Mixer. Oh, yeah, I love guns, too. I'm a big Second Amendment supporter. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. And when I return, what is it I have up on the docket next? Let's see. I don't really care too much about that one. I might mention it. I have done a lot of work to the website, guys, as of late. Oh, yes, awesome. Well, I thank you very much for your service, sir. We owe you a debt of gratitude, absolutely. I definitely honor the military. I've got a lot of military on both sides of my family. I myself have not served, but I come from a long line of who that have. And it's you guys are a dying breed. You really are. So I thank you. Thank you for your service. But let's see here. What else do I have? Oh, yeah, dude, I got some updates on the, what happened on the New Mexico compound with them guys that were arrested and let go by the judge. Oh, yeah, you're going to like this, Bacon Boomstick. So, yeah, them guys, they're back in jail. They are back in jail. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When I return, update on the New Mexico compound. Oh, yeah. And welcome back to the Ho Ho Show, guys. So, as I said before I went on break, the article that I'm wanting to cover is something that I tell you what, whenever I heard about this last week, I was so ticked it wasn't even funny. So what happened was, in New Mexico, there was a terrorist training camp that had been raided, not by the FBI that had been watching them, even had drone surveillance flying overhead, but they were, they had the county sheriffs, I believe, that went in there to break the whole thing up. They found, I think, one of the leaders, I'm wanting to say 13-year-old son. I might be wrong on that one. I might not be right on the age. I think it was a 13-year-old boy. They had 11 other children there that had obvious signs of malnutrition. They were starving them. And they actually suspect that this, the one that they had found dead was actually used in a sacrifice type of thing. They suspect that. I don't know if they found anything necessarily to prove that, but that's what that's what they suspect in it. So, yeah. And I guess for something to do with the children, some aspect of the lawsuit with the kids, the prosecution had like 10 days in order to file whatever paperwork they needed to file. Legal mumbo jumbo crap. They had 10 days. They didn't fulfill that. They didn't meet that requirement. And so the judge completely let them go. Released them, no bail, free to walk out, free to go, free to do whatever they wanted to. I think, 3 of the 5 that he kept to them, but I think it was all 5 of them eventually that got released. But what I had got, let's see, I believe this came on the wire. When did this hit? The 31st, actually. Yeah, so this hit on the 31st. And this headline comes from the Daily Wire. Breaking: FBI arrests all 5 extremist Muslims connected to the New Mexico compound. You see, the FBI didn't really stop watching them. Yes, they should have done more maybe in the very beginning of this, considering it was the county sheriffs that made them look bad and go in there whenever the FBI wouldn't do anything about it. I guess they were trying to get more evidence to lock the thing, the whole thing up, the whole thing away, make it a slam dunk, if you will. But so the FBI didn't stop watching them, and in a very short amount of time, this was like Tuesday or something that this ended up happening, and now the 31st, all 5 of them back in custody because they are on, weapons charges, violating federal firearms and conspiracy laws. So, I mean, there's a pretty decent litany that is, that these guys have been charged with. So, good news on that. They are back in jail, as they should be, for their crime. Hopefully they stay there and actually will, see their day in court without just getting thrown out because of a loophole. But they're back in jail. They're back in jail. That's the takeaway on that. Back in jail. Woo! Love it. All right, moving on. Now, this next article, and I do have actually a couple articles that is talking about that story. And you can get any article that I use in the story. Just go to my website, thehohoshow.com. It will give you a link into my news feed on there, which is one of the pages in there. And then you'll see the Flipboard right there for today's show. And that will take you right to Flipboard, give you a link to every single article that I use on the show. Definitely recommend going there, checking that out. Good stuff. Every one of them. I'm transparent on what I use on the show. I let you guys take a look at it. I let you guys fact check it. And, if you guys see that I'm doing anything wrong on here, hey, call me out on it. Let me know. But I'm using articles that I'm getting right here from, numerous different news sources. I use Flipboard. That's my go-to hub for everything. But, yeah, so moving on. Next article. Now, this one, if it is the one that I'm thinking of, got to find it again. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, here we go. I try to put these things in order on here, but for some reason, sometimes it just does not want to stay in order when it saves. I don't get it. But this article came from The Right Scoop. Headline, breaking, Trump State Department just made a huge United Nations funding announcement. And dude, I tell you what, I have been liking what's been going on between Nikki Haley and the United Nations for quite some time, especially in dealings with Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. It's just been awesome. It's been refreshing to have somebody in there that will just really, really put it out there and just not hold back and not be so stinking political all the time, because sometimes that's just, sometimes you just can't be political on things. Sometimes you got to call a trash bag a trash bag. That's just what you got to do, So what this article is saying, so the Trump administration announced Friday that it is cutting nearly $300 million in planned funding for the UN agency that aids Palestinian refugees, ending decades of support. I mean, holy crap. That's huge. It's about stinking time we stop paying countries that hate us to fund terrorism against us. It's about time we start doing that. So thank you, Trump, for announcing that. And I really hope that the follow through is there. I really have no doubt that it will be. I really don't. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch this progress and to watch this, go forth on this. So yeah, he's cutting nearly $300 million in planned funding for the UN agency that aids Palestinian refugees, ending decades of support. Now, he's not cutting all funds to the UN. Don't get me wrong on that. He's not cutting everything. He's not cutting everything out. I guess in 2016, they donated $355 million to agencies, and they were set to make, similar contributions this year. But they had already withheld $65 million that it had originally been due to provide to the UN, for aid. So I'm glad to see that this is actually getting done, that we're no longer funding terrorism. Why would we do that? I don't get it. I never understood that in the first place, So yeah, exciting news on that front. Moving on. This next article, this might tick people off. Yeah, because we're talking NAFTA now. And again, this is another one. I got a couple articles in here that I've kind of, went through a little bit. Apparently, they was not able to reach a deal on NAFTA with Canada. Now, here's my thing. I mean, I work for a company that I am hauling, I'm doing value-added tax type of a thing, service. I cross the border all the time. I cross the border going into Canada, so NAFTA helps me do my job as quickly as possible. I would hate to know what type of delay I'm looking at having this fall through. Okay, so this is something that is going to negatively impact me in the future. Very much so. I mean, I'm talking, it's probably going to cost me an extra day, if not longer, just to cross the border. That's what I'm looking at. I'm just being truthful, honest, and transparent with this. Okay. But here's one of the things that people don't really, they want to condemn Trump for this, for the NAFTA, for the tariffs, for the, this trade war that's going on, but they don't understand what's been going on the last 50 years worth of trade agreements that we've had with foreign countries. Not Canada, but, with China being the worst one of them. Okay. I mean, it's bad, guys. Okay. Because this is more or less what it amounts to. Okay. One, you're supporting child labor, which, especially when we're talking with China, how else do you think they use little bitty hands and different things to do some of the stuff that they do? Because, child labor is a lot cheaper than a machine. So that's why they use it. Okay. So you're talking child labor, you're talking, poor working conditions, you're talking everything that Labor Day, the unions of then, fought to give us. That's what we're supporting whenever we shop, foreign goods, China, Korea, things like that. I'm no better. I do it too. This isn't, to shun you. This is just to give you an idea of the reality of what's going on. So but this is what happens, though. It costs a lot of money to ship that stuff over the Great Pond. It takes a lot of money to do that. So why is it that you can buy something that is like, 10, 15 bucks in China and you're only paying $3 over here in the United States? Why is that? Doesn't it cost money to ship? Yeah, it costs a lot of money to ship. But the tariffs, the trade agreements, not really the tariffs, but the trade agreements, they condemn American factories, American shipping, and they benefit and subsidize foreign agencies who ship in the United States, because we are nice to everybody but the American worker. Go figure that one out, So all that shipping cost, all that, extra production cost, all that, hey, go ahead and move your factory over to some other country, but we'll subsidize that additional shipping cost whenever you bring it back over because, hey, we love foreign competition. But that's what we do. That's how these trade agreements in the past has been done. A lot that same way. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. It does get complicated, and I'm oversimplifying it. I know that I am, but hey, I'm squeezing it for time. Yeah. Anyway, but that's what it amounts to, though. So with these trade agreements, this trade war that's going on back and forth between Trump and these other countries, what Trump is trying to do is say, hey, look, you want American goods? It's good, but you're going to pay for it. I'm no longer going to subsidize your goods to have because what China does too is they overprice American goods sold overseas so much that most people can't even afford it. So it doesn't help us. It doesn't help our industry. We're getting shafted two different ways on this every single time. So what he's trying to do isn't hinder American workers. It's not to hinder our economy. He's trying to level the playing field globally. That's what he's trying to do, which is going to boost the economy, which is going to soar jobs, is going to raise everybody's bank accounts, because a rising tide raises all ships, a high tide raises. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to do. A lot of people don't understand and don't realize because they are only interested in the history of now. That's how Democrats operate. They're only interested in the history of now. They don't care about what's happened 20 years ago, but guess what? This is from the repercussions of what happened. I don't even know if it was 20 years ago. I have no idea. But the trade agreements that we've entered into in the past, if you actually read the fine print, you read what's going on, you read how much we've been, it's like, well, this is how much we pay to ship it over there. This is how much they pay to ship it back. Why is the cost so much different? And shipping cost, well, that's because we subsidize the cost. If you realize that, you understand that, you understand how bad we've been getting treated and how much we've been getting taken advantage of. Not only that, but we just hand over money to these countries without wanting anything in return. I'm just going to give you $1,000. What do you want for it? Nothing. Oh, you want us to talk nice to you? No. You want us to give you, cuts on goods that we send over to you? No, just take the money. We know it's not going to get to the people. You guys just put it in your pocket and let it, fund whatever thing you want to fund. Just go ahead. That's what we do. That's how we handle these problems. I don't get it. I don't get it. So that's what's going on with this NAFTA deal. Okay, that's what's going on with these trade wars back and forth. Now the thing is, though, and I can understand to an extent what Trump's doing, because he's trying to do this. He's trying to hit them hard and quick to get them to yield. He's going for the quick, not the quick knockout, but he's going for the he's going for the submission move to try to get him to tap out. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to strong arm him into submission. That's what he's trying to do, because he wants to level the playing field as quickly as possible, because he knows the only way on a global scale that he's going to affect job growth is by helping not only our economy here, but over there. And he's trying to level the playing field, but he has to do it using trade. He's got to get rid of the bad deals that we were in before, so that this way he can get some good ones. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to do this as hard and quick as possible, try to force him into submission quick, because that's the only way. Otherwise, you're talking some trouble. Now, granted, that means prices are going up. that means that goods is going to take longer for you to get. It means that. That's what it means. But you know what? Sometimes whenever you're growing, there's growing pains. You know, ask a 10-year-old, they'll tell you it hurts growing. It does. You know, but on the other side, the economy that we can get from this will be well worth it. Hey, Snark of Oz, good to see you. How are you doing today? At the moment, I am talking NAFTA agreement. Is everything sounding okay on that end? I got some mixer reports that things wasn't okay. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Salomon. Thank you for the feedback. That is awesome. So, moving on. That's pretty much all I got on the NAFTA. And by the way, that article came from Axios. Awesome. I do appreciate it. Appreciate the feedback, guys. But yeah, this article came from Axios, or at least I think that's how you pronounce that. And this came out August 31st. Just so you guys know. All right, let's see here. Let's go to the... Oh, yeah, and about this, another article that I pulled on this came from, I think that's NBC logo. You know, the peacock. Is that NBC? That's NBC. It sounds good. It's got a bit of static to it. That sucks. I don't know if there's anything I can really do about that right now, though. But my voice is clear. Okay, that's awesome. Awesome. I appreciate the feedback. But this article, it comes from the Peacock News. I think it's NBC. NBC's the Peacock, right? Yeah, I'm going with yeah. So this one says, some Canadians says they'll boycott U.S.-made goods if Trump continues this trade war. So, they're serious about it because they know it's going to hurt their economy too. You know, and yeah, it is. It's definitely got some potential damages that can happen. You know, I'm not going to say that it doesn't. It does. So moving on. Next article. Or should I go for a break? Next article. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh yeah, that one. I'm covering that last. I don't even care. That one's last. Let's see. Border funding. Should I cover border funding right now, or should I check this other one? Well, let's see. What have I got? I can talk about the funeral of the Queen, Aretha Franklin. That was good. 100 pink Cadillacs showed up for that thing. Detroit, Michigan. I might as well, since I've already started talking about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hundreds of pink Cadillacs pay respect to Aretha Franklin funeral. And I tell you what, man, I thought that was cool. You know, that whole, some of the information I had heard on that said more than 100 pink Cadillacs lined up 2 and 3 wide along 7 Mile Road for an entire city block to join the funeral. And, yeah, that was neat. That was just cool. That was cool. You know, and that's one thing that it seemed like, and I tell you what, this is one of the things I thought was pretty cool about her funeral, you know, from what little I had heard of it, you know, because I didn't follow it closely. I was kind of paying attention because I was up in Canada. I was going to be crossing the bridge, you know, heading back home into Detroit, you know, so I was kind of paying attention to that as far as traffic goes. And that's about the extent of it, you know. Other than that, I really wasn't paying attention. But there was a couple things that got brought up that did catch my attention. And one of the things that I thought was totally awesome, and dude, I tell you what, I'm the same way. I had the same heart on this. You know, when I die, dude, don't mourn my death. You know, let's celebrate my life, you know, and that's what they were doing. You know, that was more or less the overall feel of her funeral, you know. And that's one of the things, too, like with Louisiana, you know, New Orleans. I love their culture because they celebrate life. Coming in, going out, they celebrate it. You know, and that's my ideal way to go, you know, as far as a funeral type of a thing goes. You know, celebrate it. You know, celebrate life. There ain't no need to, you know, mourn it. Celebrate it. You know, have a party. You know, I want my song to be Queen's Another One Bites the Dust. I'm morbid, I know, but that's funny. I would love that. I mean, I want to do the whole weekend. Okay, dude, okay, guys, there's something wrong with me in the head. I understand this. I know this, and I'm fine with it, you know. I want to be, like, sitting on a wooden bench, you know, like my arm all propped up, you know, leg crossed, kind of like the Ronald McDonald thing where you can get your selfie, you know, just one last selfie take with me. You know, I want the casket to be empty. I want to be sitting there. This way people can take a selfie with me, you know, just kind of prop me up or something, you know, put me in a suit, put me some, you know, Weekend at Bernie glasses on my face, you know. I think that'd be an amazing good time. I think it'd be awesome. Let people have a selfie with me. People take death so seriously sometimes. Which sometimes you need to, but even still, not all the time. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break, guys. When I return, what am I covering? Hello, Tardry Diagram. How you doing today? Thank you for saying hi. What's the next one I'm going to cover? Let's see. Covered NAFTA. Yeah, here we go. The showdown of the potential shutdown over the border funding. I do want to talk about that one. So, guys, going to take a quick break, and when I return, I'm going to be talking a little bit about border funding, border wall, a potential shutdown, and then Aqua for short. Okay. Aqua, good to see you there in chat. So, yeah, that's what I'll be covering whenever I get back. So, quick break, and yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Oh, gotta find a song. Ooh, let's do Psycho. That's a good song. I haven't played Psycho in a while. And welcome back to the Ho-Ho Show. Oh, that's a lot lower than what I thought it'd be. There we go. All right. And by the way, thank you, Aqua, for the follow. I do greatly appreciate that over in Mixerland. That is awesome. So, all right. Snarky says that, no, I'm okay because of my my comment of the... my comment over the morbidness of wanting to be put in there like like Arnold or Ronald McDonald. Yeah, yeah. So we're the normal ones. Everyone else is weird. You know, I agree with that. What is normal anyway? You know, nowadays it's a lot harder to tell the normal people from the not so normal people. I think I'm normal. I think I'm okay. You know, I at least know where my sanity lies. You know, well, okay, most days. Most days I know where my sanity lies. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Let's get into this article right here. So here it is. Showdown and potential shutdown. Of course, I had to wait for the page to load. Showdown and potential shutdown loom over border funding. All right, so I've said it before, and I'll say it again. When it comes to this border wall, okay, this was one of the... big things that Trump, used on his campaign trail, okay? Not only him, but all of them that ran during the election ran on the same thing, okay? Repeal Obamacare, well, first it was repeal Obamacare, then it was repeal and replace, border wall, border security. Now granted, they've done a lot of work to it. The mainstream media doesn't want to tell people how much work that has actually been done on it. And they have done a lot of work to it. They're building the wall. It's not near as complete as what it should be, but they are working on it. Progress is being made, so that's awesome. Okay. But here's the thing though. I mean, if we let them guys, especially Congress, if we let them guys slide on this, and here's the thing, man, okay, Democrats and Republicans, when it comes to the ballot box, we are totally different, okay? Democrats will vote for somebody just because they got the D in front of their name. Just because they got that big D, they will vote for them. It doesn't really matter about their politics. It doesn't matter about their stance because, and it doesn't have to, because most of the time, Democrats pretty well stick together. They do a good job on that. I give them credit for it. They stick together. If they're in the minority, they fight tooth and nail to get their agenda gone through, to push it through. They fight tooth and nail. And on that aspect, their willingness to fight, I got nothing but respect for them. Absolutely. Republicans, on the other hand, I just want to beat the crap out of them. There were Republicans in the office that, they got commended for reaching across the aisle because they were doing everything bipartisan. It's like, dude, that doesn't mean anything if you belong on the other side of the aisle because you're truly a Democrat. One of them rhinos, that's a little R, not a big R, that's a little R. I hate little R Republicans, because they belong on the Democrat side because that's who they support 90% of the time, Okay, no? What you mean? Explain. Yes, I do. I vape. But that's one of them things that because of that, I respect the Democrats. I don't agree with them on a lot of their stances, but as far as their willingness to fight for what they want, and for the most part, they're pretty open about it, about what they want, what their agenda is, so yeah, I respect them for that. But the Republicans, if they don't actually stick together and follow through with their campaign promises, I am very leery on this midterm election. I got to be honest with you guys. I really, really am. And as for that simple fact is that I don't see Republicans taking the time to go out to vote on a midterm election and vote for a bunch of people that didn't follow through with their campaign promise last time. What makes them think that they're going to follow through next time? So why take time out of my day to go to the voting block, go to the voting booth and put my little mark on there? Republicans, we got to have a reason to get our butt out there and vote. We really do. We got to be able to stand behind the person. I know I do. I know I do. And it's one of the aspects behind that, think about it. What's one of the reasons why Trump won? Because people whom have never come out and voted before came out this time. Why? Because they had a reason to vote. They had somebody to stand behind, Well, I agree with you, Doug. I am not a fan of the Democratic Party and what their, kiddo's distracted you. Okay, I got you. But yeah, not a fan of the Democrats, platform, but their willingness to fight for what they, their agenda. That I respect them for it. That's about the only thing I respect them for, but I respect them for that, But yeah, I'm not a fan of the Democrats. I never have. My grandpa used to say them damn Democrats, and I have to agree. I'm not a fan of them, but but that's just my personal point of view, though, because I'm sorry to say it. Yeah, Trump was the better candidate, and you know what? I'm going to admit something to you guys right now. I'm going to admit this to you. This was, this last presidential election was the first time I had ever voted in a primary, and I voted for Ted Cruz. Personally, I thought he was the best guy for the job. I can't say as if I, really thought and believed that he had a chance against Hillary. I don't know, because she had a lot, she had the women vote behind her. She had the entire Democrat vote behind her. She had a lot of, a lot behind her. Ted Cruz, I would like to have hoped that he would have done it, but I'm not 100% sure he would have been able to pull it off, you know. And I do believe as though that, you know, Trump was the only guy that could have actually pulled off a victory against Hillary Clinton. I do believe that one. But I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Ted Cruz. And whenever the general election came about, I didn't vote for Trump. I'm going to be honest. I really didn't, you know. Oh, I'm in Discord. Hey, I am in Discord actually, aren't I? I forgot about that. Yeah, no, I actually was not looking at my Discord whatsoever. And do. Yeah, wasn't the I'm not really seeing anything on that, to be honest with you, on this end anyway. But yeah, and let's see. Hold on, I'm looking through the chat right quick. Let's see. Trump was the better candidate, and I tell you what, though, Snark, he has definitely proven himself to be the better candidate. Absolutely, you know. And yeah, and I definitely do not like the way that the dirty snowflakes fight. You know, yeah, they do. They fight dirty. You know, it's one sided on everything. You know, let's see. Doug puts in here. They fight for their personal gain and couldn't care any less about the American citizens, and you got that right. You know, are you in APOC server? What's you might be speaking Greek to me on that one. APOC server, what's that? I am unfamiliar with the term, but yeah, I mean, I didn't vote for Trump, and oh, Antifa. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not for Antifa at all. And yeah, if, Howard put it in there that, you know, Facebook isn't showing, and I do realize that it's apparently I was having a Facebook showdown today. Apicales. Mm-hmm. Apicales. He's a daily minion. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I didn't vote for him, and honestly, I didn't vote for him because I truly believed that he was just going to be a Democrat. You know, I mean, I really did. I looked at him as a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you know, I wasn't willing to give him the time of day. I really wasn't. You know, and that's more or less what it amounted to. But I tell you what, though, I was pleasantly surprised and very much impressed with the job that he's done when he's been in office. You know, he's got my vote for his next for the reelection. You know, he definitely has my vote, and I got to admit, I am actually very happy with, you know, Trump supporting Ted Cruz in the midterm election. You know, very happy to see that because I really don't want to see, and I don't see this happening anyway, but I definitely don't want to see another, you know, Ted Cruz, Donald Trump showdown, definitely. And yeah, Trump is the best by far. I very much agree. You know, Trump is the best by far. And by the way, welcome, OG Relic. How you doing today, sir? But yeah, so that is really all I've got on the show today. Let me just kind of do a quick skim on here. Oh yeah, I got it. I got to bring this one up. I seen this headline and I was like, at first I was like, what? Are you kidding me? No, he's not an ethical man. Let me just go ahead and read you the article. This article comes from the Daily Wire. Irony, Obama to receive award for ethics in government. I know, right? That's pretty much the same reaction I had. I was like, you got to be kidding me. You know, ethics, does he even know what ethics mean? And I was like, wait a second. Let me rewind the tape a little bit. Ethics. Okay. Well, simply put, the difference between ethics and morals is an ethical individual knows that cheating on your spouse is wrong. A moral individual won't. So yeah, I would have to agree that Obama was an ethical president. Before you completely leave, hear me out, because he flat said numerous times that he knew that he couldn't unilaterally just accept people into the country without Congress doing it. He knew that he wasn't supposed to do that. He knew that he couldn't act outside of the Constitution, and he knew that it was up to Congress to do it if anything was going to get done. He knew this. He didn't follow through with it. He is immoral, not necessarily unethical, because he knew the difference between that. He knew that what he was doing was wrong. So at least, okay, but no, I'm not willing to give him any award for ethics in government. Are you kidding me? With what that man did? Are you joking? Snarky Voss put on here, I'd rather vote for a loudmouth, true blue American like Trump rather than a bitch liar who chooses to be a lawyer for criminals. Yeah, absolutely. Chooses to be a lawyer for criminals. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, that's really all I got on this show today, unless, there's anything that you guys would like to talk about. If so, let me know in the comments section. But otherwise, I believe I've actually covered everything. Oh, there is one more thing I want to talk about. We talked about the border wall a little bit. We've talked about that. There is one more article I do want to touch base on, and this one comes from out of New Jersey from the Daily Caller. This headline is, are you kidding me? Pop-up? Really? You're going to, no thanks. Get rid of the pop-up, dude. Gotta love pop-ups. I hate pop-ups. All right. The article says, thousands of foreign nationals registered to vote in just 13 cities, says a study. I got to put a thing when someone follows. Unfortunately, considering I'm not in a Mixer, unfortunately, it doesn't give me that ability through this of what I'm using. I do apologize about that. I'll research that and see if I can't get that to actually work right, because same thing goes for Twitch. I know there's something that's supposed to be going on there that it doesn't happen, and I've been told that it doesn't happen on Mixer as well. And I got to fix that. I really do, but I need to look into it more on how that's supposed to work properly. I haven't figured that out yet. So, thank you very much, and I will. I will work on that. I'll try to get that fixed. But whatever it is, it's something that I'm doing wrong. It's something that I'm not quite doing right. I am, I'm working on that. I haven't found the answer yet, but I am working on that. So that's the headline. Thousands of foreign nationals registered to vote in just 13 cities, study finds. So here's my thing. Here's my takeaway on that. Foreign involvement in the election. If you're not an American citizen, you got no right voting. You have no right, getting a driver's license, getting any type of a social security number. You got no business doing any of that. I can at least see some type of an ID card, something. You should have passport. You should have papers. You should have something already anyway. You should. But they don't. The only reason you're giving somebody papers, or a license or an ID card is if they are illegal. So you shouldn't be doing that, But if you're giving them a license, if you're giving them an ID card, they're going to use it. They're going to go to the ballot box. That's foreign interference into an election. Here they want to cry about Trump and his Russian collusion. What it has to do with the stripper that happened 20 plus years ago, I got no idea. Yeah, exactly, Snark. Get your green cards, lazy people. Very much so. Get your green. And that's the thing, man. And this is one of them things that they don't want, they don't let people know about, You want to know the biggest group of people that is ticked off about this illegal migration, or, illegal border jumping, coming from Mexico and down south. You want to know who's more ticked off about that than anybody else? I'll give you a second. I'll give you a second to think about it. It's the people whom have migrated legally and paid the money. Those are the ones who are more ticked off about this illegal immigration because it costs money to do this, But the fact of the matter is these guys don't care. They couldn't care less about, actually fixing the problem. The problem is, or at least as they claim, The problem is, a broken immigration system. Okay, fine. If that's what the problem is, then let's fix the immigration system. They've been crying the same tune, the same tune, crying the same, putting water into the same river for years now, ever since, yes, Candy Boy. How you doing, sir? Good to see you in there. But they've been crying the same, the same tune ever since Reagan was in office. You give us amnesty, we'll give you a wall. Reagan, he compromised. Let's do this. He gave him amnesty, never got a wall, but they've been crying ever since then that the immigration system is broken. What have they actually done to fix the immigration system? It's in the hands of Congress. What have they done to fix it? Nothing. Instead, what do they want? Illegal immigration. They want amnesty. Illegal. That's what they want. If you really cared about fixing the problem, you would have done it already. Absolutely. Yeah. Doug says that now they're called, legal, illegal immigrants. Yeah, I love that they say, oh, you're not supposed to call them illegal aliens. You're not supposed to call them this. You're not supposed to call them that. And you know what? I actually read an article not that terribly long ago. And it was an article that was put out, or a statement, I guess, that was put out by the Attorney General, I believe, that was like, no, legally, this is what they are. So this is legally what you were going to call them. And that's more or less what the Attorney General had said. I was like, yes, thank you. That's what they are. Why do I got to sugarcoat what they're doing just because they don't like the illegal alien part, because they don't like it? What, really? I got to sugarcoat my language? I got to sugarcoat the language? I got to sugarcoat the law because you don't like it? Tough. You're not an American citizen. Go back to go back to where you came from if you don't like it. I said Canada. I'm in Mexico. Go back to Mexico if you don't like it. Get out. You don't belong here anyway. And if you did, you'd have a visa and you'd be okay to work and clear to work in here. There you go. These are the things that frustrate me. They really do. Why can't people just be honest about it, And I know what it is. They're after a complete open border type of a system. They're after, global citizenship. That's what they're after. They're wanting to dissolve the things that makes America special and just welcome everybody in here. And it's one of them side effects is, America's going to become the same shithole that's everywhere else is. I hate to put it to you like that, but that's more or less what it amounts to. America tried an experiment. An experiment of government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Do we really have that now? Can you honestly look at me right in the face and can you honestly tell me that, yes, that is the form of government we have? If you do, you're deluded. It's like, I'm sorry, but you are. It's the elites that run everything. It's the big money corporations that run everything. And I got no problem with corporations. I got no problem with, the big money being out there, You know what? And actually, you're right about that. What about Canada coming? I don't know if Canada has a wall, and they really don't. And that's one of them things, though, too. You focus a lot of your time on the Canadian border. They're just going to go, they're just going to go right around into Canada and migrate south down that direction. And you're right, they are. If you block one entry, all they're going to do is find another. And you're absolutely right. Screw Canada. And you know what? They're right, though. They are people. But that's the thing, though, man. How much money do we actually dish out to Canada, to the countries down there on the border? How much money do we actually give them just to line the pockets of the government officials down there? The money doesn't get down to the people, so why do we give them money for that? Until they take Bieber back, I'm not happy. Right. But truth be told, though, we don't really have a problem at the Canada border as far as illegal immigration goes. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, because I'm sure that it does. That would be stupid of me to assume that it doesn't, But for the most part, where we have our problems at is the southern border. Right now, that's just the reality of it. But you're absolutely right, though. That if you block that entry point, if you block that means by which for them to get in, they will find another. Whether that means, taking the Gulf, whether that means, going around into, some of the eastern coast, or whether that means they fly up to Canada, then drop down south. I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can do that. And the Canadian border is a big border to try to, police. I mean, that sucker's huge. I mean, they can do it if they wanted to, Canada's delusional. They think everything is like Disney World. I tell you what though, I go up to Canada on a regular basis, and I mean, truth be told, I don't have a problem with Canadians. I really don't. They, the people, they understand that they're, like their healthcare, for instance, they understand that it sucks, and they are very much hoping that we don't follow suit. They're like, dude, don't do it. Universal healthcare, don't do it. They know it's bad. They know it sucks. They have to wait in lines. They have to do all that. They have substandard care. Who cares if it's free if all they're going to give you is an ibuprofen to take care of a broken leg? Go outside, grab me a couple sticks, and we'll go ahead and take care of it right there. Let's see, the most troubled points are actually mid-eastern to eastern Providence, Quebec and Nova Scotia. Yeah, probably more so Nova Scotia as far as that type of stuff goes. My grandma actually was from Nova Scotia, Canada. Little history on me. I go up to Toronto and Quebec whenever I go up to Canada, but yeah, most of it's in Toronto area. I go up to Quebec, Montreal, and whatnot. Hello, Bobo, Bob Joe. How you doing? But yeah, I go up to Quebec, periodically. Most of the time, whenever I go up there, I go up to Toronto area. I don't mind it. I mean, it's very much like, I have talked about, USA and China not getting along. I really didn't bring it up on this show, however. That wasn't any, what was prominent, at least in the news feed at the time, but that is something that I most definitely have brought up. Oh, okay, yeah. Snark mentions in here that your friend Bob, Canadian, and he was paralyzed last year. They're in Nova Scotia. Okay, yeah, and I tell you what though, but I was who Bob Joe? What you talking about, sir? Bob Joe 83. Who what? But yeah, I was actually talking with not the last time I was up there, but the time before that, I was talking with somebody. Oh, your grandpa was born in Quebec. Okay, yeah. But I was up there talking with somebody about, the healthcare and whatnot, and he, they understood. I'm sure I will, because that's one of them things that is in and out of the news feed, as far as China and U.S. goes. So, I mean, it is something that I probably will. I mean, I would actually be surprised if it doesn't pop up, at least China and North Korea, because there is some stuff that's going on behind the scenes, especially between China and North Korea, USA and North Korea. And of course, China is involved in that because they have an interest in that relationship, our relationship with them. They have an interest in that. And so, they've got their little grimy fingers involved in what's going on. So, I would actually be surprised if it doesn't end up popping up something significant happening within the next week or two. So probably next week, Oh, rapeseed oil is made in Canada. I did not know that. But yeah, they were talking about, okay, yeah, but they were talking, yeah, they were talking about, just how healthcare was and everything else. And it's like, oh yeah, I talk about them quite often. Russia, yeah, Russia. Actually, I believe I talked about them. It might have been 2 weeks ago. Now was the last time I brought Russia up into the show. But yeah, I mean, I cover a little bit of everything. Primarily, USA news. But I mean, you got Russia, China, Korea, Canada, Mexico in there as well. So I mean, they all take their turn and get mentioned on the show, definitely. But yeah, I mean, it's with how healthcare is up there, because there's a shortage of healthcare providers. There is a shortage as far as, medications and different things like that, because everything's free, so everybody wants it. It's that aspect of supply and demand. If it's free to everybody, then everybody's going to want it. Well, just because it's free to everybody doesn't mean that the supply is going to go up in order to meet that demand. And so, yeah, it might be free, but just because it's free doesn't mean that everybody's getting taken care of. And so you got the long lines, you got the waits, and you got people that are, that are sent home and different things of that nature because they don't have what they need to take care of them. I've heard surgeries taking, weeks and months, kind of like the VA. I've heard surgeries taking quite a while to actually get done because they don't have the spot, in the surgical room and the surgeons in order to take care of them in a timely manner. So it is a problem. And the people up there in Canada, oh, thank you, Snark. Snark says that they like my podcast. I'm universal, and the free can't truly be free. And I've heard this been said before. You think healthcare is expensive now? Wait till it's free, because the cost may not be in dollars and cents. The cost is going to be time and lives, because that's what it amounts to. Time and lives. That's what we're going to lose when healthcare is free. It's free, but you pay shipping. Yeah, sometimes, yeah. The line to listen is huge. Yes, Doug. Oh, yeah, that's nice of you, sir. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely, Snark. There is always a cost. With everything, there's always a cost. Nothing's free. There's always a cost. When you're talking goods, when you're talking services, nothing. Absolutely nothing's free. Absolutely. You got a point on that. Yeah. Well, guys. Oh, sweet. I did not know I can absolutely block people right here from Restream chat. That is awesome. That is cool. I've never tried to do that before. Nonce. Yeah, I don't even know what you're trying to say, sir. I have no idea. Whoa, what was that? Oh, okay. And my screen just decided to do something kind of weird right there. That was kind of weird. Well, guys, if that is all that we've got today, I'm going to go ahead and call her quits and shut her down. Well, that went another 20 minutes into it, just with talking with you guys. So that's totally awesome, man. Thank you guys very much for the feedback. Thank you for, participating in the show. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, everybody, and hello. Aw, come on. I thought it went out of there. Okay, whatever. Ain't you just productive? So, yeah, good times. Thank you guys very much for participating in the chat. I do greatly appreciate it. Always a good time. Always a great time. And next time, actually, whenever I'm on tomorrow, I am... Block Doug. I'm not going to block Doug. Not at all. No, I got somebody in Mixer being a complete, butt tard. Whatever. So he's an idiot and a fool. Whatever. I don't care. It doesn't bother me none. I'll block him whenever I get over there. I'm not really too worried about it. But yeah, tomorrow, whenever I'm on, I'm going to be talking about... Oh, crap. I'm going to be talking about some, Podcast Movement 19 coming up next year. I tell you what, yes, you are a butt-tard. Yeah, absolutely, you guys are. But I'm going to be talking about that. There's just some exciting stuff going on. I'm looking forward to it. I've already got the time off put in there for work. So, Doug's saying I can't be stopped. Yeah. Yeah, ban these people. Yeah, I know. I need to. Let's go ahead and get in the mixer and see if I can't do that right quick. Because these guys are definitely being very rude, very disrespectful. And I really don't care to have them in there. I really don't. Go ahead, ban me. I don't care, dude. I'm on 7 platforms, man. You ain't going to stop me. I don't care. You ain't stopping me, buddy. You're powerless. Gotta love powerless people. Absolutely. You're not going to ban me, buddy. Not going to at all. One of these days I'll find out how to get in there. Hold on. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, guys. Oh, wow. That's cool. All right. So, yeah, tomorrow, definitely going to be checking that out. Check that out tomorrow. So, yeah, talking about podcast movement, talking about some other things that's going on with the show. Because I do have some updates on different platforms that I am getting onto right now. So, I am absolutely excited about that. Oh, dude, I tell you what, I can't wait. And I'm not exactly sure how long it takes for the acceptance. Oh, sweet. Yeah. Yeah, they're in Mixer. I'm not even seeing how the heck you're supposed to get them off of there, but I mean, I will. I don't even care. But yeah, it's been ages since I've trolled. Dude, I used to do it all the time too. You know, especially with people like that, you know, just get rid of them. That's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, there's just some awesome stuff going on, guys. So, you know. Well, heck, if you want to, definitely go right on ahead, Snark. That'd be cool. You know, that would be totally cool. I'm actually trying to... Oh, what the heck is that? Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, you got that right, Snark. You know, you get to a certain age, you know, 60, too old to be trolling. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right there. Tawdry diagram. Definitely. Definitely right. So yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. And actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm not. Hold on a second. I ain't going to leave just yet because I am going to figure something out. The longer I have to figure it out, because I don't do it from this end from the website that often. I really don't. You know, unfortunately, I'm doing it from other directions. So I really don't mess with. Hey, maybe that's how you do it. Nope, that ain't how you do it. Is that how you do it? Oh, and that's spiffy. Nope, that's not how you do it. Oh. Nope. Nope. I don't want it. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, I clicked on him, but, you know, you're aging backwards, Doug. That's cool. You know, it's actually kind of weird. I really haven't aged all that much in, like, the past 7, 10 years, you know, whatever, you know. So, yeah, good times. Yeah, we are. We're done. I'm actually trying to get into to block some people just because I don't like having them in there. But it's not letting me do it. Oh well. Yeah, good. Go ahead and leave. All right, guys. Well, you always have a great one. I am taking off. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Don't drink too much. Drive safe. Be responsible. Take care, guys.